Bitcoin is dumping, but I do think this is going to be a huge bear trap, just like we have seen before. So let's talk about exactly that within today's update video. And this is going to be a very important one to watch because Bitcoin is moving aggressively to the downside and we need to discuss what's going to be next for Bitcoin here. So we will discuss the most important Bitcoin charts, we will take a deep dive into towards the latest news hitting the market, and of course we will take a dive into towards Ethereum because Ethereum is actually holding up quite strong against Bitcoin here. So let's talk about exactly that within today's update video. But first of all, make sure to subscribe to the channel and watch and like my latest YouTube videos, and then we can dive into towards the most important content. Since I think Bitcoin is trapping us here. Bitcoin is basically dumping towards this major support line, just like we saw in 2025 earlier here in April, where we saw that major move down, then a retest of this exact support line out of an H&S pattern, basically exactly like we have been creating for Bitcoin this time around. And I do think once again this support line is going to be huge support for Bitcoin, and this pattern is not the only reason why I do think so. It's simply also because we have this major CME gap laying under us, and Bitcoin has been breaking down in towards that CME gap, is now pushing back a little bit to the top side, but I do think a retest could still be likely here. On the flip side, we also must take a look in towards the range Bitcoin is trading in, because I do think Bitcoin is starting to range trade from here. We have been breaking below this range, but it is quite early, so it depends a little bit on how you're going to draw this range. But for me, it does look like Bitcoin did break below the range here, but if Bitcoin is going to break back above in towards the range here, this could also be a major liquidity grab and Bitcoin could be starting heading higher. But I do also think that a little bit of a lower Bitcoin price here and a big retest could also be a highly likely scenario, because if you take a look in towards the liquidation heat map, we do still have this liquidation cluster under us, and I do think it could be likely that Bitcoin will be filling that liquidation cluster a little bit more to the downside there. Of course, it doesn't have to happen here, but Bitcoin most of the times does move to the places where the most liquidity is laying, and there's still a little bit of liquidity laying under us exactly at that CME gap and also exactly at this retest level. So I do think there could be a high chance that Bitcoin is going to retest exactly that level, just like we have seen before, and that means yes, history is going to be exactly repeating for Bitcoin, but we should also keep an eye on this important range here. And then let's discuss the latest news hitting the market here, because we saw a lot of money being liquidated from the market once again, but I do think in somewhat of the broader context, this is probably going to be a major liquidity flush within the markets, and I do think from here we could see more upside still. And also next week we do have another FOMC meeting, so next week is also going to be a big week once again, and I'm definitely expecting more volatility for next week. And yesterday Strategy did announce that they are going to raise another $2 billion to buy more Bitcoin, so also that is super bullish once again. And guys, if you do want to be trading Bitcoin altcoins yourself, make sure to check out Bitunix over here, because right now you can claim some absolutely insane deposit bonuses on Bitunix. I do think this is one of the most beginner friendly platforms out there, so if you do want to claim over $400 of bonuses on Bitunix here, make sure to check it out with the link in the description of this video. And from there guys, I do want to discuss Ethereum, because not only Bitcoin is basically about to start range trading, also, and currently actually Bitcoin is about to, or is trying to break in towards that range back again, but also Ethereum is range trading here. And if you compare the two, you can also already start to see that yes, Ethereum is holding up quite strong against Bitcoin here, and that is going to be a major bullish signal for altcoins in my opinion. Ethereum is basically trading around that mid-range level of this new range we have created, and yes, we are holding up quite strong. And also the Ethereum versus Bitcoin chart is exactly showing that, because Ethereum versus Bitcoin has been breaking out of this falling wedge pattern, and if we could see this continue to the upside to, for example, this local high for Ethereum versus Bitcoin here, I do think things could start to turn very bullish quite quickly once again. So yes, I do think in the market right now we are seeing a major trap, because actually it isn't looking all too bad here. And then this chart we've already discussed in great detail in the video yesterday, so make sure to check it out. But I don't think Ethereum is topping out yet for this cycle, but I do see a lot of people talking about, of course, that range high for Ethereum where we did touch that major supply zone. But I do think, yes, Ethereum is still going to break higher this bull market, and I do think, because of all the recent developments surrounding Ethereum, that Ethereum could still be moving towards new all-time highs later in the cycle. But I do think personally my expectation for Ethereum moving towards new all-time highs would still be Q4, because also we are going to trade in August next month, and August is usually a very weak month for Ethereum. So I do think those Ethereum all-time highs could be coming later this year in Q4, but I do think like in the ending stage of this month we could still see another Ethereum push higher towards that $4,000 level. But yeah, let's see about that. I don't think this is going to be the top for Ethereum yet. And yeah, I was talking a bit earlier in this video about the fact that the Ethereum versus Bitcoin chart is still looking quite strong here, and also the Bitcoin dominance chart is exactly showcasing that, because the Bitcoin dominance chart is getting rejected from this major resistance level, a new daily red candle here, so that's actually looking quite good here. And yeah, if this is going to continue, we could see a major altcoin rally start off quite soon again from here. So this isn't going to be the moment where you do want to be panicking in the market, because it's actually looking quite good, definitely for Ethereum and altcoins here. So there isn't much reason to be panicking here. And also guys, for the ending stage of this video, I do want to discuss the ETF flows for a bit, because Fidelity did buy a lot of Ethereum yesterday, a record inflow for Fidelity themselves, so quite bullish once again, over $210 million of inflows. And if you take a look towards the ETF flows from yesterday, we can see that both Bitcoin and Ethereum did have positive flows yesterday, so that is looking quite good. And yeah, these ETFs are actually responsible for taking a lot of this sell pressure off the market here, so that is actually making me very bullish. And as long as this is going to continue, I'm still expecting higher Bitcoin and Ethereum prices, to be fair. Also, the altcoin season index is starting to stabilize here after this major move down, currently at 43. And yeah, there's still a lot of upside in the tank for altcoins towards that altcoin season territory, of course. So guys, it's still looking very good. I do think this is a major trap in the market currently, and we should not get trapped here. I do think right now is a great opportunity to be accumulating more, and yes, I'm expecting more upside in the near future here. So guys, that was it for today's update video. I hope you guys enjoyed today's update video, and I will see you guys within the next update video tomorrow.